So I first started learning magic when I was 10 years old, and my uncle gave me a book for my 10th birthday, and I just loved it from there. I was bit by the magic bug, as they say. I think my first real gig was for my younger sister's birthday party when I was 11, and I was paid in pizza, and I was thrilled with that arrangement. And by the time I was in college, I knew that magic was something that I was really interested in pursuing full-time. And those years for me were really about figuring out, how do I take this thing that I love and turn it into a full-time career? I would take every opportunity to get that performing experience, or as Lance Burton would call it, that flight time out there in front of real audiences. So I've really performed through the years. I started performing at these parties, and then as I developed in magic, started performing at corporate events and private events, and gaining performance experience in different venues. I traveled the country and performed at colleges and done the cruise ship. So, all these different venues to perform in, which are all very different from each other. And so by the time the opportunity came around to have a residency in Las Vegas, which had been such a long time dream of mine, I had had a lot of experience performing in different places. And so I thought to myself, wow, this is such an opportunity that I'm so grateful for, to be able to come and perform my show here at Westgate, and to be able to have a show that continually evolves as well, because I really want it to be something that is always improving. And even though I'm proud of what we've created so far, I just want to keep making it better and better. So in my mind, it's never a finished product. It's always something that I want to keep evolving on, keep working on, keep improving. I think, of course, it was a very challenging year for everyone with the pandemic, and I missed performing. Like we were saying, I love getting the chance to do my show at Westgate. I love the people I work with. It's such a team effort, and so I really missed doing the show here. But I thought to myself, you know what, let me take this time to dive deep on the creative side of the show, and to think to myself, how do we take the show and go through from beginning to end, each touch point, each moment where someone might come up on stage from the audience to participate, or where someone might touch an object. And I would think to myself, okay, how do I take this show that is so heavy on audience participation, and I love the audience participation, and how do I keep the show engaging? How do I keep those moments of audience participation and make the show bigger and better, and still have people feeling like they are involved in making decisions, and yet adapt it so that it works well in our new normal? But as far as what the audience sees, I often reverse engineer it in my head. When I'm thinking about adding something new to the show, I think to myself, okay, what do I want the audience to experience? When they come and see the show, what do I want them to feel? What do I want them to see? Of course, magic is so much more than just the sleight of hand. It's also the presentation. It's the connecting with people. And at the end of the day, I think that's what matters the most, is connecting with people and sharing the experience of wonder and making them feel like they're 5 years old again. So for me, it's a fun process of thinking about, what's the audience going to experience? What do I want them to experience? And then how do we develop a routine and a piece of magic that can create that? So I get inspiration from so many places. Magic, of course, is a great source of inspiration. The history of magic, the magicians who have come before me. But in addition to magic, I feel like inspiration can be found anywhere. And even outside of magic, you can find inspiration in your daily life, in movies, in books, in something that you might just happen to see walking down the street. So growing up in magic, the magicians you mentioned, Penn Teller, David Copperfield, the magicians I'd see on television were a huge inspiration to me. And to this day, I so respect what they do. They're absolutely amazing performers. And I love how they each bring their own style to the table. When they're on stage, you watch Penn and Teller perform, they're incredible. You watch David Copperfield perform, he's incredible, but they're incredible in different ways. And everybody has their own personality, their own way of connecting with the audience, their own way of developing magic routines. And I find that super inspiring, and have ever since I was a kid found that to be super inspiring. So there are so many wonderful women in the world of magic, and right now I'm the only currently headlining female magician in Vegas, but I think about the history of magic, and of course it's a very historically male-dominated field, but that having been said, there have been some really, really terrific women in the past in magic, in past generations, and currently working today, and it's an honor to be a part of the magic community and to have the chance to do my show here in Vegas. You know, before the pandemic, we would, after every show, do a meet and greet with the audience. It was really special when you'd have kids come up, and oftentimes it was young girls, and they'd come up and they'd give me a hug and they'd say, "Oh, now I want to be a magician." And that made me, it was just so rewarding. It made me so happy to see how excited they were and to be able to hopefully inspire them. And to be a positive role model. I mean, that really is very meaningful to me. Magic has been this amazing, meaningful part of my life, and to be able to see more young girls and women developing an interest in magic makes me really happy, and I definitely think the magic world is moving in that direction.